بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يجعل نياتنا خالصة لوجهه الكريم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. So we're continuing our discussion about the upcoming African American Islamic Summit, which is next week. And time goes fast. So we're looking at May 5th, 6th, and 7th for this important historic event. And I always remind myself, and I remind you, that we are history in the making. And if you want to maximize your impact on history, while you're making history, realize that you're making history. That's very important. So for us, this African American Islamic history is going to be something that future generations are going to talk about. They're going to mention that in Atlantic City, New Jersey, they used to have every year this gathering of African American Muslims from all around the country, and they would come together and they would discuss things, and they built from that this. That's how it works. And if you want to have a strong impact on those succeeding generations, you need to realize what you're doing right now. So I say to all of you and to myself, don't belittle yourself. Don't consider yourself as not having a severe impact on our reality. Learn from the past so that you do excellent in the present and prepare for a better future. It's very important that you really realize the work that we're doing. This summit is extremely important. Insofar as bringing a segment of our community together. One of the things that is really hurting us as a collective is our individualism. There are too many of us who only think about us as individuals or what I'm particularly doing, and I don't care about nobody else. In fact, I don't even want to work with nobody else, just my mission. Or when I come to work with others, I'm not really working with them, I'm using them to push my mission, which is not a collective mission. This hurts us. our enemies, and I no longer consider, I've reached this point personally. I start to see my enemy as my enemy, even if he looks like my friend. I'm going to repeat that. I've reached a point myself where I see my enemy as my enemy, even if he appears as my friend. Which means I have to know the interests of my people. And if I see you working against the interests of my people, even if you say assalamu alaikum, I realize you're an enemy. I do realize that. So we have people who don't mean us no good. And that enemy appears to be our friend sometimes in the name of Islam. And they will use Islam to prevent us from doing what we need to build our communities, to build our people. They will disarm you. Malcolm X said something, Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, that was very deep. He was talking about the nonviolent movement. And he said, yeah, everyone promotes nonviolence to the Black community, but they ain't telling the people who we should be protecting ourselves with not to be nonviolent. So by telling us to be nonviolent and not telling the ones who's violent against us to not to be nonviolent, you're disarming us and allowing us to be hurt. I thought about that. And then I thought about the situation we live in, where when we try to do something for our community, they'll say, why are y'all doing this African American Black stuff? But they don't tell the others, why are you doing this stuff? They don't say that. Why are you doing that? And it's our people who say that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about others, expected for others. I'm talking about us. And Malcolm X was talking about us. He wasn't talking about what the white man said. He was talking about what civil rights, Black, so-called Black activists were saying about Black people who wanted to defend themselves. So we're talking about African Americans who will say, why are y'all doing that? While at the same time, they participate with others who do the same thing, and then they don't say anything to them but to us. Why y'all y'all doing this Black stuff? Why are you doing this African American stuff? They never say, why are you doing this other stuff, which is a commonplace in every other culture. I want to ask you a question. Do y'all realize that every culture, every people do for their people as a customary practice except us? Do you realize that? I'm talking about among the Muslims. Every Muslim group of people do for their people. They have their customs, they have their culture, they have their programs, they have their institutions, everything. And it is designed and organized for them. Do you notice that? It's real. But for us, we've made religious excuses why we shouldn't do what is normal for everyone else. So I realize for us that this needs to be emphasized. We can't just do it. We need to do it and declare it at the same time until it becomes a custom for us, right? until us having institutions that are designed to educate and empower and uplift the African American Muslim community, and thereafter that, the African American community itself, Black community, whatever you want to call it, until we build institutions that are focused on that, we are falling short. We have to stop allowing ourselves to disarm ourselves by not taking care of ourselves. And I think that's the theme of the summit. There's many aspects of engaging in that, but the theme itself is, hey, we got to take care of ourselves. We have to build for ourselves. And we can't be our worst enemies in that. We can't be our worst enemies in that. And I want to share something with you. We failed at this many times. So I should remind you of that. We as a people have failed, especially as Sunni Muslims, doing this for ourselves. We failed a lot. Because I think the mistake we've made is we were apologetic and not demanding enough that we do for ourselves. Hence, we've given excuses to ourselves to oppose ourselves. And I think this is a mistake. Now, I don't think, I know it's a mistake. And I've talked to leaders, imams, and organizers who try to do similar to what we're doing. And I can look at all their mistakes, and I'm doing our best to avoid them. One of the mistakes was trying to emulate others in their institutions, in their programs. Don't do that. That's a mistake. So you remember the other day, I was talking about how we put on our programs. Our program should be our program. And our program, the way we best communicate is when it's not scripted. The way we interact is when it's just natural, organic. We just do what we do, and we know what we do. Our gathering should always be a celebration of us. It should have soul in it. It should have a connection where I can be myself. That's one of the things I want. I don't want a gathering that A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No. A, C, G, H, K. That's the kind of gathering I want. Because we are people who can do that. Someone else don't know how to walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. We do. And it's natural. We're in our natural environment. You know, when we play sports, we don't always run the same play. We do tricks. We throw ollie hoops. We do flea flickers, right? We dance in the end zone. That's us. If you got my point. Do y'all follow what I'm saying? I'm setting y'all up. Right? No, seriously. You shouldn't know what you're going to see. When we go to a concert, We don't go just to hear the record. If the guy get on the stage or the girl get on the stage and just sing the song, we're going to be highly upset. We want some stuff, right? We don't want you to go up there and just sing the record. Nah, I want you to put some loops in there, and I want you to, yeah. And that's how all our gatherings are, right? And that's the kind of gathering we need, right? So that was one mistake I've seen. People want to be like the other alphabet groups. They want to be like ISNA or ICNA. We not ISNA, we not ICNA. We ain't trying to do the same thing. We black. We have our own way of doing something, right? We ain't trying to emulate nobody. We're not trying to be like those who do Islamic retreats and they got their form, and we ain't trying to do none of that. We doing it our way. Whatever way that is. And guess what? Our culture don't have to have a definition because it's us. We just flow. That's our culture. We just flow, right? So I'm looking for that kind of summit. And I need that kind of spirit from the presenters and from the attendees. Because really, it's all of us together. All of us together, right? And with that, I want to say a few things. Our summit has to do several things. We said that the theme, our people, the individual, the family, the community. That's the umbrella. Now, under that, we have a lot of things. I don't want this to be forgotten. The primary thing that we must do is learn our religion properly, right? That's the primary mission. If we don't learn Islam properly, no matter what we do, we're still going to have all these problems. Now, when I say learn Islam properly, what do I mean by that? We are Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah, right? We have our methodology. That has to be sound in every individual. So, by necessity, some of our people initially are going to be left out. What do I mean by that? We're not doing a Rodney King thing. Our methodology has to be clear. However, once our methodology is clear, we can then work with others who may not be particularly on our methodology, but it's a clear line there, and that line that is never crossed. Though we share other things that we could cooperate in. I want you to understand that, because this is going to be the hard task after the summit, not during the summit. The summit is easy part. It's what we do afterwards, right? The summit cannot just be a yearly gathering that we're not building in between summits. In between summits is where the real work is at. The summit is to introduce you to the work and give you some direction in what we have to do during the work. But the real work is from one summit to another summit. And in each summit, we have to have some benchmarks that we have reached, right? We actually did something. And in that process, educating ourselves properly in Islam is always a part of it. Because too many of us are not well educated, even in the foundational things. That's why we all over the place, right? And there's a reason for that. And I was telling a brother this yesterday. I said, listen, we have to wake up and smell the coffee. We have been victims of misguidance. In misguidance itself and inside truth with a misguided purpose. I'm going to repeat that. We as a people have been subject to misguidance. From misguidance inside of misguidance and misguidance clothed in truth. Right? It still has the same effect at the end of the day. You're disenfranchised. So meaning you may have deviant groups, and we've had our share of them, that taught us Islam improperly. So it's misguidance. And through that misguidance, we've become misguided. So that's recognized as a deviant way of understanding the deen. It's not correct. And that's been a big problem that we ain't solved yet. That's going to be decades of work. Because too many of us are default Wahhabi. And then we got other small groups, but we're not traditional Sunnis. That's not popular in our community. And even the Sunnis in our community are partial default Wahhabi themselves because that's where they came from. That's a big problem that we have to overcome, right? And it's still spreading. It's not like it stopped. People come to me, well, the Wahhabis have lost steam. Where? They lost steam maybe in the immigrant communities, maybe in the more upper echelon communities. In the Black community, in the inner city, they still rolling. They've changed their stripes, but they're still rolling. It ain't stopped. That hasn't went anywhere. Those same issues are still there. They ain't went nowhere. So that's a delusion. I don't know what you're talking about. And of course, we live in the belly of the beast, sort of say, because we're on the East Coast. It ain't went nowhere. Trust me. It ain't go nowhere. It's still here. However, that's not our only challenge. I believe religiously that's our biggest challenge, but it's not the only challenge. So you're going to deal with that. But here's another challenge. So this is deviant ideas in Islam, and this relates to the summit. So we have to do that. So Friday after Asr to Isha, that's going to be the focus. Laying down the foundations of proper Islamic learning. So on Friday, you're going to have Imam Dawood Walid, Sheikh Abdul Karim Yahya, Sheikh Nasser Abdul Salam, Sheikh Yahya Bartamori, and myself, us five, all African Americans, and we're going to lay out the foundation of the Islamic sciences and its connection to us as a community and how we need to approach it. Because our approach to the Islamic sciences is not going to look like others. And there's multiple reasons for that. We don't have the funding like others. We don't have the institutions like others. So we're going to have to revolutionize how we go about teaching the religion. And I'm telling you, the way we have to do it is boots on the ground. Internet's not going to do it. Big retreats are not going to do it. It's going to be door to door, city to city, group to group, on the ground, family to family. That's how we have to teach. Until we build critical mass of people who understand this deen properly, and then we go forth as a group. That's going to be the work. And to do that, that's going to cost a lot of money. Because as we see, just the internet, there is a disconnect. We need physical gatherings, small, intimate gatherings, family gatherings, where we send teachers with this mission to every city, to different places, to different families. That is a must. It has to be on the ground. It can't be done online. It won't work. So that's going to cost money because we got to send people. We got to pay for that. And if we want to win, we have to support our own efforts. This is a must. This is a non-negotiable item. We can't be lazy in this. There's going to be some sacrifice. That's just for the education part, right? Now, on the other side, we have to stop taking our Islam from others that are not from our community. That's going to hurt. Some people might not like that. Yeah, I said it though. What do I mean by that? Could you put it up? I want it to be clear. Could someone put that up for me? We have to stop taking our Islam from others outside of our community. I said it just like that. And I'm going to explain, but I wanted that statement up. We have to stop taking our Islam from others outside of our communities, outside of our people. I mean it what I said, and I'll explain. But put it up so you can get my words. Are y'all following me? I didn't see. Somebody put that up for me. I can't tap that fast. Because I want to explain what I said. I meant what I said, and I want to explain it. Okay. Good. Our Islam. All right, someone give me it again. Okay, good. Right. Can everyone repost that? We have to stop taking our Islam from others outside of our community. Can everyone copy and paste that? Please, I want all of you to paste that. There's a reason. I'm going to explain, but I need you to participate. I'm not talking at you. I'm talking with you. So please, I need you to participate, right? We had a saying in our culture, we always know. Some of us think the white man's ice is colder. Some of us think the white man's ice is colder. Some of us think others' Islam is better. Others' explanation of Islam is better. If it don't come from someone else, it ain't authentic. We have that concept. So just like they said, think the white man's ice is colder, we think others' Islam is more authentic. And when I say others' Islam, their expression, the way they do it, if it don't come from them, it ain't right. That's a problem. Why do I say that? Islam don't belong to nobody. Islam doesn't belong to any of us. It is our collective property as an ummah, as a nation. And the nation of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is made up of many, many people. So therefore, everyone has equal access to Islamic knowledge. No one's access should be better or more accessible than anyone else. If that's the case, there is injustice there. If another group of people have an Islamic knowledge that's not accessible to you and you got to go through them to get it, then you have a problem. and that is injustice. All of us have equal access. All of us. So therefore, the same Islam that I could get from Yemen, from Syria, from Mecca, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Morocco, Pakistan, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Russia, China, don't matter. It should be the same Islam I can get from an African American. Did you follow that? Is that clear? That same Islam I can get anywhere in the world, I should be able to get it from my own people. If I can't get it from them, I don't want it. Until I build it from us. That got to be our attitude. So that means if we don't got it, and we do have it, that's another thing. If we don't have it, we better develop it. But we ain't taking it from no one else unless we get it from our people. And that's going to be hard. Somebody don't like that. No, then we got to develop it. I'm not putting my money in someone else's bank. I'm going to build our own bank. How about that? That's the attitude we need to develop. That's coming. That's way down the line, but trust me, that's coming. Once we get ourselves together, that's how we got to think. You think the Chinese started like that? No, they built that. They built their culture to such where it's internal. They cooperate with the world, but they have their internal structure that's intact. We got to start thinking like that as a people. So here's what I'm saying. We're going to cooperate with other people. We're going to share with, we Muslim, so we're going to learn. But when it comes to our children, our people, we're going to do that. And we're going to do that work. And we're going to ensure that we use our resources to do it. And let me tell you now, and especially now, why this is easy. I was thinking about something. If you look at this summit, we have between us, the teachers I'm talking about, over 100 years worth of Islamic study between all of us. Between all of the presenters that are going to be presenting, their time of studying Islam, if you put it all together, is over 100 years worth of study. So if you take Sheikh Abdul Karim study, Sheikh Nasser Abdul Salam study, Sheikh Yahya Baltimore study, Imam Naim study, Imam Fahim study, Imam Talib Abdul Rashid study, Imam Sulaiman study, Aisha Prime study, Nuruddin Knight study, right? Dawood Walid study, my study. You put all that together, you had over 100 years worth of studying traditional Islam. Why we can't do our own stuff? Did you hear what I said? That's over 100 years worth of study. Why we can't do our, we retarded or something? We got over 100 years just with this little group of Islamic study and traditional knowledge with scholars, with chains of narration, and we can't do our own stuff? Something's wrong with that picture. Tell me something. If you add up all of the years that everybody studied in different places, right? Man, that's over 100 years. And we ain't add others who could also be added to the pot and make more. So there is no excuse, right? There's no excuse why we can't do our own stuff, except that we must admit that we're being failures. We're being deficient because it ain't access. We have access. And between us, we have access to Islamic scholarship all over the world. So there is no reason why we can't do our own stuff. Do we have an Arabic deficiency? No, it's enough of us. Where one is weak in something, someone else is strong in another, right? Everyone has their specialty. Sheikh Abdul Karim can do stuff that I can't do. Sheikh Nasser can do stuff that he can't do. Imam Dawood can do stuff that he can't do. Sheikh Yahya can do stuff he can't do. I can do stuff that Sheikh Yahya can't do. Aisha Prime can do stuff that I can't do. Nuruddin Knight can do stuff that Aisha Prime can't do. Put all that together, we got everything we need. Where's the gap? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you following me? But what has been successfully done by others is to keep us all apart and keep us only using our resources to benefit others, but not benefit ourselves. So therefore, we're fragmented and not able to use all those resources. So each individual now is missing some things and he's trying to do it on his own, and it's not effective. It's not effective. It's not at all. He's building something, and then this one is over there working by himself, and this one's over there working by themselves, and there's no collective effort to bring those resources together to benefit the whole. And that's been a big problem. In fact, those energies are used to serve others, and others are doing what we should be doing for ourselves, and then we're subjugated to them all the time. It never fails. This is what I see. It's not something I don't see. And it's not something we don't see. But the thing is, do you have the courage to come together, to unite, to do the work? That's the challenge. To put everything you need to do it. That's it. To drop your ego and say, I need you and you need me, and let's do it. That's the summit. We have the resources financially to do the work. Among us, we're millionaires, but we're stingy-naires too. And that's a problem. My word, I make up my own stuff. I think y'all know that already. So between us, we're millionaires. But the problem why we don't see that, because we're stingy-naires too. Muhammad, can you write stingy-naires? That's our big problem. Right. Yeah. So that's our big problem. And we watch everybody come from somewhere else, build right in front of us, most of the time off our backs, and we watch them build, and we sit there twiddling our thumbs, we don't have anything. I know you gave it to them. All your resources, all your energy, all your knowledge, all your money, you gave it to them. And they took it and they built, and now you can work for them, and you can be under them, but you're still in the same position. That's your fault. That's your fault. You didn't take care of yourself because you didn't even see yourself as a self. You only saw yourself in the shadow of someone else. That's your fault. That's not their fault. That's not to blame someone else. They did what they supposed to do, and they should be applauded. You the one ain't do what you're supposed to do. So don't look at them and be angry. You were resources. And you said, take my resources and do what you want. They said, Barakallahu bikum, shukran jazilan, and we're going to use your resources and we're building. But you're welcome to attend, but you cannot be in charge. You cannot run anything. You cannot direct anything. You are just welcome to attend. Some stuff. Not everything is for you. Some stuff, not everything. We have to still have our own stuff that you're not a part of. Do you understand what I'm saying? I think all of you know this stuff, but you just been taught don't mention it, don't deal with it. No, you know it. You know it well. You live it every day. You see it. You experience it. You know it. I'm not telling you something you don't know. What I'm telling you is to do something about what you know. There's a difference. You do know it. I'm not telling you nothing new. Maybe I'm articulated in a way that, make the light bulb go off in your brain, but it ain't like you don't know what I'm talking about. But what I'm more concerned than you knowing what I'm talking about is you actually doing something about it, right? And this is important. So it can't be just rhetoric, right? Some of us have to live this stuff, and the others have the obligation of helping us do it. I'm gonna be honest with you, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. Sometimes I get myself in trouble for being honest, but we need honesty. I don't care. Listen, we need honesty. I wish sometimes, but it's not the will of Allah, so I accept. But I'm just telling you my mindset. I wish I would have known what I know now when I had what I had then. I'm going to leave it there. If you got the indication, you know exactly what I'm saying. I wish I knew what I know now when I had what I had then. I'm just not in that position no more. But I wouldn't be talking like this. I would be doing. But I do with what I have, right? And I do the best with what I have. But there was a time I wouldn't even waste my time. I'll do it. Don't worry about it. We got it. What we need, let's do it. But alhamdulillah, we don't have what we have then. And we're working what we're working with now. But guess what? I want to share something with you. We have more than we had then in reality. We have more now than we had then. We just need to learn how to use what we have now to build what we imagined that we had then. I'm speaking in code, but I think us, we already know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not us and it ain't for you, right? So that's our challenge. This don't sound like no normal convention, do it? This don't sound like one of those, let's feel good joints. No, we got work to do, right? We're going to take over some blocks, if y'all understand what I mean. We're going to take over some blocks. My mission, this is me individual, and where I want to see these movements, that we reestablish ourselves as the voice of Islam in America. And from there to a voice in the world, even if I don't live to see it. But I want to plant the seeds that from now on, when we say in America, they look at Muslims, they see us. I'm telling you, it's not like that right now. And you know it, and I know it. I want to reverse that trend. When you look for an imam in America, you see a black man. When you look for a female scholar, you see a black woman. I'm not saying the others can't be there too. I'm not saying that. We all need to be there. But you need to be a dominant voice, because no one knows how to deal with this system, fight this system, deal with these enemies better than us. Nobody. But we've just threw the ball and said, yo, go ahead, do what you want with it. No more. I don't want us to go to the gathering and we're just in the crowd. We're just happy to be here. I'm happy to be here. No, I want you up front. I want you leading. I want you to have gatherings where they got to come to your gathering, not you go to theirs. Do you understand my point? We have to change this thing. We have to change this whole thing. I'll give you this. And I'm going to tell you, I do it intentionally. Right? You know, in my city, and they know me, so I can speak of my city. I'm telling you what I'm looking at. In my city, the black people just surrendered to the immigrants, to the Bengalis and Pakistanis and even the Egyptians. They just gave it to them. Here, y'all in charge. And we just go in our little shell and do nothing. Leadership stink. I'm being honest. Leadership scared to lead. I'm talking about in the black community. So you know what I do? I intentionally interrupt that stuff. If there's a gathering in the city and there's officials, I'm going to be the one speaking for the Muslims. Not because of me. I'm not allowing you to take charge. No. And I'm going to use my voice every time you try it. I'm coming. So even with the mayor, even with the governor, even with the council, even if they try it, I'm coming. Absolutely not. We can work together, but if you try to take the lead, I'm coming. Count on it. And I'm coming with a raging voice that you're going to wish you never did it. That's how we have to be. To the point where what they'll say, and everyone here knows it, when we have a gathering, when you hear Islam, you're going to see Masjid Muhammad up front. You're going to see Imam Amin. You're never going to see someone else, except that they're behind us. And that's intentional. But guess what? We're always going to work with everybody. So we're never going to leave the others out. But if we don't do that, they will ignore us like we don't exist. So it won't be reciprocal. We're going to say, all right, even though we're in charge, all of us are together. The other way around, they're going to act like we don't exist, period. And guess what? We're cool with that. I'm not. We're cool with that. We'll just, okay. We're ineffective. We don't, No. I'm telling you, and anyone from Atlantic City here knows what I'm talking about. So it's not just me talking. Go ask anybody from Atlantic City and they'll tell you. That's how we have to do it. It's not about me, it's about us. But what I'm suggesting that we all do it. We all do it. And I'm quite sure there are other imams who caught on to that stuff and they do the same thing in their areas. Now we need to do that around the whole country. Nah, seriously, around the whole country. That there is no gathering except that black imams, black leaders, black women teachers are invited. If there's a gathering, you're invited, not a guest to watch. You're on the stage. You're the teacher. You're sought for advice. Until that happens, we got to keep doing it. Right? And you're not just there to be the fundraising guy. No, you're there as the teacher. No more of that stuff. No more of that stuff. No more. And we have to be dedicated to that. I'm serious. Right? We have to be those kind of people. And I hear some people I know. See, a lot of times we be fighting stuff and y'all know we fighting, but we know exactly what we're fighting. You pay attention. you see organizations we know well. Some of you don't know these organizations, but some of us know well. We had people that fought for 30, 35 years to build institutions in our community. And those institutions are ran by other people than our community. When our people went overseas to study, they came back and they still not in charge. And those people who were kids are in charge of them. Still to this day. You don't see nothing wrong with that picture? Let me rephrase it again so you get it. We built with our labor in our communities institutions. Others took those institutions and made them for themselves and became the leaders and are the leaders with the resources, the money, the investments, the businesses, everything. Built institutions for themselves. Some of our people went to study. Then they went to study, they came back, and they're still not leaders. They're still not in charge of anything for real. I'm not talking about token position. I'm not talking about we allow you to do this, but don't do anything except that you check with us. That means you're not in charge. You're not in charge. That means you are a puppet. You're not in charge. You don't run anything. You can't make a decision. And after all that knowledge, over 30 years, you still not qualified to lead anything. You don't see nothing wrong with that picture? You don't see nothing wrong with that picture? And then the minute your people start doing something for themselves, those same people tell you your people are not right. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to him. Don't dare. Oof. No, just be my servant. And then try to make you a representation for us. Man, are you kidding? You don't get that chump out of here. Nah, seriously. We ain't that kind of people. What do you think we are? Now, we've been listening for our generation since the 50s. We've been watching puppet Negroes set up. We can't see that stuff. Since the 50s, we've been listening. In our generation, we've been watching puppet Negroes set up to go calm down the Black community. We've been watching that stuff for over 70 years now in our generation. Great people have come in those years and said, watch this nonsense. You don't see it? You too sunnah out that you can't see reality no more? We on the sunnah. No, you on slavery. You on the plantation. You ain't on the sunnah. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you go study the battles. You go study Fatu Mecca, and you will see that there were tribes. Even in the army of the Prophet, there were groups. There was the tribe of this, the tribe of that, the tribe of that, the tribe of that. That was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had that. Study the seerah. There was tribes. There were people, and they stuck together, and they had their leaders. It wasn't just all of them came and surrendered. They followed the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but they kept their own leadership internal. They were following the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but within their own families, within their own groups, within their own tribes, they had their own established setup. They had the Sayyid of the Qawm. They had the leader of the people. That's the Sunnah. What are you talking about? And whenever there was a conflict, the Prophet ﷺ would get the leader of their people, the influenced person of their people to deal with that issue. He respected people's tribes and people's families. He respected that. He didn't disrespect that. He respected that. That's our Islam. I don't know what you're talking about. Study the seerah. He respected these lines. He married to unite those tribes because he understood that people stood with their tribe. He understood that very well. And he was very strategic in how he navigated that reality. What kind of Islam we got where we ain't a tribe no more? We ain't a people. We don't have our own leaders. What kind of Islam is that? Where you get that from? I don't know where you got that from. That ain't Islam. That's some stuff you made up to make us servants. That ain't the deen. You study any book of Sirah, you're going to see it. You study the lives of the Sahaba and the generations after that, and the Khulafa and the Muluk that came. Study the Sirah, study the history of Islam. There's always been people and tribes, and they were respected with their own leaders. Always been that way. To this day, it's like that. To this day, it hasn't changed. So tell me why we got to be different. Why? It's because we don't know our deen. And that's why I said that's first. This is our religion. This is our religion. This is our deen. And when people used to come to the Prophet ﷺ, I'll show you through the seerah, through his da'wah. People would come to him from a tribe. He would teach the influential people of their tribes. Then he said, go back and teach your people. Go back and teach your people. Go back and teach your people. Now it's go bring your people to me so I can put them in my plantation. Go get your people and bring them to me so I can subjugate them. No. Islam came to lift us up, not put us down. Islam came to bring the best out of us, not put us down and make us subservient to someone. Our subservient behavior is going to be no one to Allah and his messenger, no one else. And anyone else that we follow is because of their excellence in following Allah and his messenger. And if you tell me the only people that have excellence in following Allah and his messenger is someone other than us, then I got a problem with that. Why we can't have our own shuyukh? Why we can't have our own knowers of Allah? Why we can't develop that? As my teacher used to tell me, the wali wasn't born a wali. He worked hard and became a wali. Prophethood is given. Wilaya is strove for. Prophethood is something that you don't work to get. That's something Allah gives to whom he chooses. Wilaya is something that you work hard for. Jahid to shahid. It is also given as a gift, but it still has the work. Because Allah, as Ahmed Rifai said, Allah never took as a wali an unlearned person. And if he did, he would teach him. Allah never took as a wali of his an ignorant person. And if he did, he would teach him. So that's something that's acquired. That's something you have to do. So why can't we acquire it? Why can't we build among our children awliya of Allah, shuyukh, who have we have chains of narration. They're the same chains. Why we don't pass them to our children and raise them up? Why not? So this is our mission. And every day until we get to the summit, I'm going to be drilling point after point after point after point. So when you come to the summit, you already ready, right? I'll do all my talking right here. And when we get to the summit, then the others, you'll have the things to build. Listen, we have work to do. We have a lot of work. And we're going to have to sit down and we're going to have to rumble. I don't mind that. Right? I don't care how you feel now, Ill. How about that? I don't care how you feel. How about that? I want to care what you're going to do to help us. I don't care how you feel. What you going to do to help? If all you're going to do is feel, I don't care about that. What you going to do to help? Your feelings ain't going to change our situation. Your effort will. Now, what you going to do to help? I always got to mess with Nail because I'm totally disappointed in him, though I love him. Because he's one of those young boys, if he stopped bull crapping, he could be a giant. No, right? So I always mess with him. He could be a giant, but he playing games and dancing and, singing and feel good junk. I'm always messing with him. Don't pick me and Nail got a love relationship got going on here, right? But really, if I could have him by himself, boy, I'd make that guy a lion. But he's around that, that stuff make you kind of soft. Too much Sufi. Not a little jihadi in him. You need both, Ak. Too much Sufi make Johnny a dull boy. Sitting around singing all day and doing that sheets. You need to do a little swinging, not so much singing. I'm messing with him. Don't get offended. Me and Nail, we always do this with each other. He understands. It's called playing the dozens. We do it. We black. We play the dozens sometimes. All right, Barakallahu Bikum. Do y'all got my point? Any questions? Because we're down to the last week. And we're doing good, but we need to do better. Right? So please share the link. Let's get as many of these attendees as possible. Let's get this job done, man. Really, we got work to do. And guess everybody not like me. So don't think all the speakers feel the same way I feel. They don't. They have their own approaches, and that's fine. We just got to bring them all together and figure out how we're going to get the job done, right? I have my own nature. This is just me. So there's different natures, and that's fine. There's those humble guys who just, want to be Sufied out. There's those militant guys who just want to fight. There's those educational guys who just want to read books and talk. There's those economic guys and gals who just want to get money. There's those who want to do mental health. We got all kinds of stuff going on. We just got to bring all that together. You follow my saying? Everybody got their talent, right? And everything has its value. So even though I'm busting chops with Nail, but we do need to we need soft hearts, we need Vicar, we need Nasheeds, and we need all that, right? We need youth mentoring. We do need that. That's an important aspect of our collective work. But that's not all we need. We do need people who, rile us up. We need those too, but that ain't all we need. We need people who know how to get some money, but that's not all we need. We need people who know how to deal with all this dysfunction we got going on and can deal with this, pathology that we got going on. We need them. Everyone is needed. Right? We all need it. And once we realize that, we're going to be successful. Right? We all need it. Every single one of us. Right? But we need to come as a family. In the family, we all know each other and we deal with each other accordingly. Not everybody can take everything, right? So may Allah make it easy. Tayyip, any questions? Last thing. Any questions about the summit? Anything you need to know? Anything I'm not, I'm missing? You know what I would like? You know what I would like? Honestly, I would like to see more of us like Grandma Gigi, like Fatima Burke. You know, Fatima's not black. I know she act like she black. She not, right? But she committed to our struggle more than some of us. We need to get like her in our efforts and struggle, right? Seriously, go watch her stuff. She be working, right? And she's an elder. She be working for our cause. We need to be more than that, right? I'm honest. I watch her. She coming all the way from Canada to the summit. She's an elder. You know how much effort she got to do that, right? You know how much effort that takes? I was with her. Elderly, health issues, and she want to roll with our people. And you know one of the biggest reasons? Because she sees sincerity and genuineness among us and real love, which is us as a people. So if that's a Caucasian woman, how should we be? Right? She got to get acceptance. We're naturally in. There's a big difference. She's got to earn acceptance and some trust, and probably we never going to give that fully. It's from the heart. Islam will give it to you. But she understands that that's going to be one that's going to hard to get by. But despite all that, she there. So where should we be? And I say the same thing. Sheikh Yahya wrote this the same way. Right? The guy be supporting our efforts big time. And he know at the end of the day, you're a white boy and you're going to get that. Why he here? Right? But he want to see us win. They want to see us win. So if they want to see us win and they're willing to go out their way to help us win, what should we be doing? What should we be doing? Right? And there are others like that. I won't mention them because they do a lot and they don't want their names mentioned. But there's some others and not white, Pakistani, and they in it. And I know their work they do. Right? They're in it for us. Where should we be? They're in it. They're in it. I'm telling you, in it. I know some. I just don't mention their names because I know they just do what they do and they don't want to be mentioned. But they in it regularly, on it. Because they understand. They understand and they get it. And they want to see a better ummah. And they know the ummah is not going to be complete until everyone's included, even the most disenfranchised. They understand that point. Because ultimately, that's what we're trying to do. Oh, this is a good one. I got to answer this. Thank you, Jackie. This is a big problem. Let's read that. Jackie, thank you. This is, mashallah, this is good. I got to take an extra 10 minutes for this one. Please. This is very important. Read that. Everyone read her comment. She said, Imam Amin, I've been around a long time. I've learned a lot in this class for 3 years. You said, let's build. I am ready. I just don't want to be hoodwinked like the nation, like in the nation. And I love your work and fight. 3453 Family Strong. Let me explain that to you. I agree with you 100%. Sister, I know that feeling. I know that feeling very well. I know what it feels like to be hoodwinked. And you know what I say? Let me tell you how you solve that problem. We have to be on the ground. You have to actually see how we live, what we do. We have to really become a family. You have to see that this guy who happens to be the one talking is not full of crap. I watch him. I see him. I see what he does. I observe how he lives. Listen, I'm going to be honest with you, Jackie. I'm talking about me. I've ruined marriages trying to do this work because I don't put nothing before my work. And sometimes this work is taxing on a family, extremely taxing. And anyone who does it will tell you it's taxing. I don't have no double stuff. I don't. All you got to do is be around me. I don't have a double life. I don't. This is all I do. I don't do nothing else. And everything I do else is connected to this. That's how I live. Anyone who knows me know that. So you just got to get to know me. Once you get to know me and you get to know the people around me, I don't have people around me who ain't down. I don't know. Everybody around me, yo, this is what we got to do. This is the mission. I don't do nothing else. I ain't a swindler. Believe me, I've had a lot of money, a lot, and still come across a lot of money. And all that go to the mission. That's my life. I want to see us win. I don't care. I had money before. I had a lot of money. More money than you could imagine. It don't mean nothing. I've been all over the world. I did all that stuff already. I'm not impressed. I've drove fancy cars. I've done all that stuff. It's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, what have you really done that's going to change our people? That stuff don't mean nothing. I'm not impressed. I don't even want to do it. This is what I want to do. I want to build institutions so we can have generations of people that we can actually actualize what I'm talking about. I want to see awliya from our children. I want to see ulama. I want to see successful communities all around the country. I will give my whole life for that. That's all I want to do. Nothing else. I did the other stuff. I'm not impressed. They didn't send me to jail for nothing. They sent me to jail for a reason. I did stuff. I did it. I'm not impressed. Not at all. That's easy stuff. Getting money, that's easy. That's easy stuff. What is real hard is building a people. That's hard. That's challenging. So how do you get beyond the hoodwink stuff? Be around some real people, right? Come on the ground and see the work of these imams like Imam Fahim, like Imam Naim, and Sheikh Abdul Karim Yahya, and all these brothers who are on the ground every day sacrificing. They could be doing something. All of us could be doing something else. Trust me, I could be just on the circuit, giving lectures and collecting honorariums all around the world. That's easy for me. I don't have to do this. Trust me. I don't have to be begging people for $500. I get $500 for a 20-minute talk. That's easy. Easy. With my eyes closed. I could do that all day long, all around the world. You know how many invitations I get to come give a lecture to entertain some kids, entertain a crew, do a 20-minute lecture just for pictures? This stuff's easy. I used to do it. That ain't what we need to do. That's easy. And they pay. It ain't like somebody gonna sit around and say, oh, you gotta beg them for a $10 donation. No, Imam, here's a $1,000 honorarium, $5,000 honorarium. Here's a hotel. Here's a driver. That's what they do. It goes like that, and they're gonna kiss my hand. But at the end of the day, I ain't built nothing for my people. I'm straight. I look good. I got the picture. I'm on the stage. Yeah. At the end of the day, what have you done? Glorified yourself? Nothing else. Taking pictures with the sheikhs? Come on, man. Are you serious? That's all we're going to do in life till we die. We're going to travel around, taking pictures, drinking exotic coffee, traveling, going to Mecca and Medina while our people are suffering, travel around the world, taking pictures with sheikhs. Come on, man. You can't be serious. That's not all to life, is it? So you just got to be around real people. I'm telling you, all you got to do is go look on the internet and you'll see the crowds that I've been in. There's plenty of videos out there. There's plenty of gatherings, plenty of sessions where to come to the session, it costs $400. And I'm on the stage and I got an honorarium and I got my own room and drivers and food and all that other nonsense. I'm not saying it hasn't, when I say nonsense, I'm not saying that's not important. I'm not saying it's not beneficial. But at the end of the day, when I finish all that and I go back in the inner city, I see the same conditions. At the end of the day, when I get off that stage, when I finish with those big scholars and we all sat and I look all good and we took all the pictures, when all that's done and I get back on the airplane and get back in my car and get back to my community, it's the same old stuff at the end of the day. So really, where should my focus be? Fixing this problem or just entertaining myself? And the few blacks that can afford to come, or the few blacks that get a scholarship and get, we're always gonna give some to the, unfortunate just for, so you can come to the gathering and, mashallah, is about 20 of y'all and that's enough, cut off right there. And the rest of y'all can't afford it. Nah, man, that stuff doesn't work. It works for somebody else. It doesn't work for us at all. It may work for me, for my fame and for my resume. It may work. It does. But in reality, it's not changing our situation. So I don't think we should waste our time doing that. I'm not saying don't do it at all. So, because some people are listening, oh, that's why you don't come. No, that ain't not why. I'm not saying all of it. I'm just saying it's real stuff. It's real stuff, man. It's real stuff at the end of the day. And I got children. And I'm not about to run with my children because I'm afraid to help my people. So let me take my children somewhere else where they're a minority, where they could be a majority if we do the work and build everything up and we can all cooperate together. Why I'm going to run with my children? My children are needed among their people in their neighborhood to build this deen among them. And then cooperate with everyone else. It's not separation. It's learning to build so you can actually participate. And not as a spectator, as an active influencer. Man, we got our place in the world too. So that's how you figure that out. Hey, listen, I'm not hard. I'm on the internet every day. I can't hide. It's all people all up in your business, right? I'm on the ground. I'm accessible. I'm not some celebrity that you can't find. I'm every day, I'm available, right? So you ain't gonna worry about me swindling you. And I ain't gonna let nobody swindle you. That ain't happening. Not on my watch. Let me give you an example. I know it's gonna be longer than 10 minutes. I'm gonna tell you, when I was little, I told y'all I grew up in the Ansar community. And all of y'all heard of the Ansar law community? Became the Nubian Islamic Hebrews, then became the Nuwabians and Dr. York and all that stuff. Y'all heard of that before? This is black stuff. So I grew up in that from a little kid. right? And I want to share a story with you. I never forget this. Man, I gave my life to that stuff as a little kid, as a youngster, as a teen. My whole teenage years was in that. And I was active, right? And we had my first garb, white garb, was given to me by Dr. York. In that time, it's called Imam Isa. We used to call him Abu, like father, right? And really felt that way because we were in a community. You left your family, a whole lot of stuff go with that. Real cult, right? And I was in it, right? Left my mom, left my brothers. I mean, I ain't nobody. Y'all not my family. Whoever don't live in the gates of the Ansar Allah community is not my family. I'm talking about I was in it. And money, everything. I'm in it. I'm in it. When I saw that stuff fall apart, man, that was the most devastating thing. But I was a teenager, so it didn't hurt me as bad as it hurt some of the elders because I was still young, right? And I remember when I saw that he was full of crap, that he was hoodwinking us. And I remember a friend of mine who's now his life all messed up. I think he's in jail now, getting ready to get 1,000,000 years, right? But we were together. We were partners. We used to pedal together, right? And he was trying to convince me to overlook this nonsense. I was like, man, get out of here. That joker's full of crap. And that messed me up so bad. I went back home and I hit the streets. I went back home and that's what got me in trouble. I was like, man, all this stuff is nonsense. And I'm from the hood. We went and got money. That's what we do. And we built up. We made money. We got a federal case. I went overseas. When I came back, I went to prison. I went to the feds. After I don't know if I was still in or I was out because I don't remember when he caught his case. He caught a federal case. It was a state case. He caught a federal case, right? But I'm going to tell you what impacted me. It might have been when I was in Colorado. So it might have been the late 90s. So I didn't see the stuff because we didn't have all the stuff, right? But I remember, I think I was home by then. I was home because I was on the internet. And I was seeing his case after that happened. And I saw this dude get in front of a judge. Now remember, we was on the white man's the devil and all this other stuff, right? Rebels. And when I got arrested, I didn't get arrested, I got captured. And it was ugly, right? And I thought I didn't surrender. I was a kid. I was a young boy. I didn't just surrender. It was a mess, right? No surrender. We had that kind of mentality, right? We ain't surrendering to them. I didn't surrender at all. I got captured. It's a big difference. It looks different too. And I was thinking, so I'm watching this case after I've been through all I've been through. I'm home now. I'm watching his case on the internet. And this joker, they getting ready to give him 130 something years. I'm giving you this whole picture about being hoodwinked. 130 something years. He gets in front of this judge, puts his head down, talking about something, yes, sir, your honor. I mean, what the, right? Where's your manhood? Now remember, this was my father who taught us how to be soldiers. And you a punk. You get in front of this judge, he getting ready to give you all this time, and you put your head down. And I go back to when I got sentenced, and the judge said to me, you don't have respect for local, state, or federal authorities. This is a case where the guidelines are unjust. I wish I could give you more time. But because of the guidelines, I can't give you no more. And I looked at that, I won't say the words. I was like, hey, do what you got to do. That's the soldier you made, and you get in front of them and you become a coward. You put your head down. Now, I'm way out and learned and all that, but that instant, almost 15 years later at that point, right? I'm like, this punk had us soldiering and he was a coward. I never forget that feeling, right? I never forget that feeling. That betrayal. Now, I done learned, I done taught, I went through all the stuff, I done went overseas, I did all that now. I'm Sunni, but that effect still inside burnt me to death. Like, you're a coward. No respect, a swindler and a coward. I'm like, hey, you're going to jail. Go to jail with some daggone manhood. You put your head down. But you're going anyway. What are you doing? To me, that was the whole letdown of Black people. To me, that was a disgrace. Right? They don't respect you. They don't respect us because you're a coward. I'm just giving you, so when you talk about being hoodwinked, nah, that's the last thing I would do. I hate that stuff. And you don't know me, but you don't hear nobody here objecting, right? There's a lot of people here who knew me all my life. You ain't hear them objecting. You don't hear nobody telling me something, you full of crap. There's a bunch of people here who know me. Some people who ran the streets with me, they know how I feel. They knew me since I was a kid. They know me every day. They see me. They know I ain't talking. I'm not lying. This ain't no story. This ain't no game. I don't do the betrayal stuff. No, absolutely not. I don't care what the price is. I'll die first. I'm not betraying. I don't do it. I'm not no rat. I'm not no snitch. I'm not no snake. I don't do that, no matter what's the cost. So you don't got to worry about me taking your money. That's never been an issue for me. And I got people in my community. I've been an imam for 13 years. And we've done built that masjid, do everything. People will tell you, nah, that's not him. You got the wrong guy. No. So don't worry about me with that. Now, I can't speak for somebody else. For me, no. I'd rather die first. Period. That's me speaking to you. I'd rather die. That ain't my style. No. You go ask the FBI, they'll tell you, nah, he ain't gonna do that. He gonna buck. Him, he's gonna buck. That's not gonna happen. You don't get to Colorado from selling out. That ain't how that happens. It don't work that way. You get there because you won't sell out. You won't say, okay, boss, that ain't my style. I'm sorry, you got me warmed up. I hate that stuff. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate a sellout. I hate a cross artist. And I hate somebody who betray people. I don't like it. Even if you got the wrong stuff, stand up. I hope you be right, but don't sell out. Don't do that. That stuff. Die first. Go ahead, just die. You're not worth living anyway if you don't got no principles. Just go ahead and die. So just keeping it real. Keeping it real with you. So, and that's how we all should be. I ain't praising myself. I'm just telling you that's how we all should be. And when we be like that as a group, we gonna win. We should develop that kind of spirit in all of us. And mine is deficient. We should be at a higher level than that. That was the spirit of people who make change in our communities. They were all like that. Barakallahu bikum, I took up too much of your time. May Allah make it easy, right? But listen, you know how this works, right? You got to become that person yourself, all of us. You have to be the same way and better, right? You have to be the same way and better. And if you get a group of people like that, we can make a change. You get a group of people like that who's dead serious, man, we can make a heck of a change. We can flip this thing upside down. But you got to be willing to sacrifice. You got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to take the pain. I was looking at that young girl. I'm going to stop. The young girl, what's her name? Reese, the LSU girl, the basketball girl. She made me cry this morning. I'm soft. she had me in tears. You know that girl? The young girl, what's her name? Angel Reese, is that her name? Come on, I know y'all watch sports. They got a little TikTok thing of her. They was in a huddle, and she was looking at the number 45 girl. I think she just went to the WNBA, the guard. She looked her in the eyes. They was in a little huddle, just them to the side. She said, "You first round? You first round? Then you got to be first round all the time. You got to bring it every night." I was like, "Woof, go ahead, girl." It brought tears to my eyes. Just that energy, young lioness. She was like, "You first round? You first round? You got to bring it every night." I was like, "Wow." You see, she won a championship, right? That's that spirit. That's that spirit we need among us as Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. We first round. We got to bring it every night. We don't take no days off. Every day we bring it. That's how we got to be. No matter who we facing, we bringing it. That spirit. That spirit. That's what we need as a people. May Allah make it easy for us. Barakallahu bikum. What's today? Today's Friday, Jumu'ah. See, I have so much work, I don't even know what day it is. Today is Jumu'ah. Please make abundant salam ala Rasulillah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Don't forget to make dua for each other. That Allah give us success, that Allah keep us firm, that Allah keep us steadfast. And please don't forget the summit. We got work to do. We can't just talk. We got to actually do some stuff. Barakallahu bikum. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.